Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Beach Injury Lawyers. Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. Today I am in the studio for a very special edition of Living Local with the guys from Beach Injury Lawyers, Will and Greg. Thanks for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
I was going to say that. You took my line. It is a pleasure. Well, let's talk about a little bit about what you guys do, and can you take some time to each tell me your story of how you got to be where you are?
Go ahead, Will.
Okay, sure. So I've been an attorney since 2006. I got involved with the law. It had to do with a personal issue back in the day with me. My father was killed in a car accident by a drunken driver, and I nearly died in the accident. So I have a just very personal connection. Actually, I never would have thought I would have done personal injury, but I felt drawn to it because I believe I can understand and empathize with people in a way that maybe others can't. So that's sort of my background.
What about you, Greg?
I've been practicing since 1996. I have a few more gray hairs. But I've worked both as a plaintiff's lawyer representing people injured, in various ways. But I've also worked about half my career. I worked with a large defense firm, and we represented insurance companies and companies in lawsuits. So I much prefer this side. Representing the individual it's so much more rewarding than an insurance company. So I joined Will about 3 years ago. I had been in Greenville for a number of years, and so we joined forces, created Beach Injury Lawyers, and we've been rocking along ever since.
Yeah. You guys are obviously a very great team, and I hate to ask a very typical question, but what do you think sets you guys apart from others?
We're small by design. We don't want to be a big law firm. We want to be able to be selective in the cases that we take. When people walk in the door, it's funny, other people will laugh at us. They're like, "No way, you don't do that." But Will and I are the ones that greet you. It's
really?
It's not a secretary or paralegal or anybody else. Our offices are in the front, so by design. And so when you walk in, regardless of what it is, you're going to talk to one of us. And, we give you our cell numbers, our personal cell numbers, so that you can reach us whenever you need us. And, so sometimes people need more than a lawyer. They need a confidant, they need a friend, they need somebody to bounce ideas off of. And a lot of our clients do that. It may be related to the claim, it may not be related to the claim. But we tell them, call us. If you need something, give us a call. And, so you strike up really a friendship with your clients. And we have clients that we've represented several years ago, and every couple of weeks here they come with donuts and coffee, and they just want to sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and catch up on how their kids are doing, how our children are doing. So we do things a little bit differently. It's a bit more personal. With our law firm.
And do you feel connected to the community too?
Absolutely. So I initially started, was Will Parker Law back in 2017, and it was and remains very community focused. It's important to us. I mean, we're like Greg said, small by design. Getting to know our clients is really important, to understand their needs and what they hope to accomplish in their case and also in their life. We have a first responder that brings, who's a great client who brings us donuts every couple weeks, and we literally will sit down and talk to him for sometimes an hour, and as we do that, we get to know them better, and we sort of become their attorney. So even if we can't handle the issue that they have, we can certainly help them find the person who can.
That's really cool.
We just try to be a resource.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think that necessarily, no offense, being an attorney. You wouldn't think that you would have that opportunity all the time.
We're a little bit different. I mean, honestly, if you ask us what we do, we'll tell you we're lawyers. And the reason we don't say attorneys is we feel attorneys is just, I don't know, a little stiff. So if you ask us, we're lawyers. Yeah, but we want to deal with people on an individual basis. We want to get to know you. You know, people get to know us.
Yeah.
You know, I got more text messages when my daughter got married last month from clients.
I love it. All right, well, stick with us, guys. We're going to get to know them a little bit better, and we'll see you right after the break. Well, thanks for sticking with us today on Living Local Carolina. I'm joined in the studio by Greg and Will from Beach Injury Lawyers. Guys, we were just talking about what you guys do on a daily basis, being able to help people out in the community. But let's talk about some specific cases that our viewers might be interested in learning about. You want to kick it off?
Sure. I mean, we handle a variety of personal injury cases, but you know, what you're going to see is a lot of automobile accident cases. But we do a lot more than just automobile accident cases. And some cases are very unique. You know, people being struck in the eye with a projectile fired from a Nerf gun, you know, and suffering significant eye injuries. People falling at local water parks that didn't have the necessary mats out. Dog bite cases. And dog bite cases, unfortunately, we see so many dog bite cases involving children. And as a parent, it'll get to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you see just the extensive damage you know, that these kids sustain as a result of dog bites. And what's interesting is what we see is it's not the usual suspects in terms of the type of dog. Yes, we see pit bulls and Dobermans, but you know, we also see Labradors, English Mastiffs, even a Chihuahua case that involved a 3-month-old baby. So you know, we really do get a variety of interesting cases, and we're happy to help folks out with them.
Now, Will, would you say there's never a dull moment?
Yeah, that's why I enjoy personal injury.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I said, I have a personal experience to it, but every day is different, and we see, like Greg was explaining, some really crazy stuff. Deck collapses, which very serious injuries. Every other type of motor vehicle, you know, including golf cart, moped. I mean, it runs the gamut. And we have tractor trailer cases. I mean, every case is different, but we try to meet the people where they are. You know, that's the main thing. But yeah, there's never a boring moment. I couldn't imagine being on the other side, frankly. But I'm glad Greg has been, because it gives us an advantage.
Well, I think it also goes to say that there are some things that you guys deal with that the general public might not even know you would need a personal injury lawyer for that. And a lot of people are coming to you and they really need help. This is very new to them. So how do you kind of put them at ease?
I mean, a lot has to do with the rapport that you establish with someone. You do want to put them at ease. If you can help them, you certainly want to let them know that. But if you really can't help them, or it's really not to their advantage, we're in a unique situation as we'll tell them that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not that we don't want their business, but if it's really not going to help, then we're going to tell them that. You know, we're going to tell them that.
So one thing that, and Greg had sort of mentioned how we meet them at the front door. We try to eliminate I think the fear or anxiety of going to an attorney. We're still amazed at how many people don't know that there's a free consultation for a personal injury attorney, and they think they have to pay. So we try to make sure people know that. You know, frankly, I don't wear this every day. I definitely dress down at the office intentionally, and people, typically tell me it's refreshing and that they, don't feel like intimidated. And so we put ourselves in their shoes, and our office is like a big home in a sense, and again, by design.
I love that. You guys are two regular guys. Just two regular guys. But
Yeah,
I like the suits though,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can dress up when we have to.
Yeah.
We clean up good.
I love that.
There you go.
We do.
So tell me a little bit about some larger cases that you guys have been able to handle over the years.
Some of the larger cases are really the most tragic cases. You know, someone burning alive in a truck. You know, that was a very significant and an emotional case to handle.
Yeah, so we've had a couple recently where someone was injured in an automobile accident while at work, and it's a dynamic set of circumstances, but it was a very significant injury. The guy will never work again, and it ended up being a settlement from the automobile, a settlement from the workers' comp, and then also helped him get disability as well. Which, while we don't do that typically for our clients, we'll do disability work. Well.
I gotcha. All right, well, we're going to hear more after the break about some of these cases, so we'll be right back. Well, thanks for staying with us here on Living Local Carolina. I'm joined by the guys from Beach Injury Lawyers. We've been talking all about different cases that you guys have been covering, but let's kind of dive into that a little bit more. We said dog bites, something you might not always think about, but what have you been dealing with? Well,
like I said, it's not necessarily the pit bulls and all that you're dealing with. Generally, you're dealing with someone's family dog which is you just don't expect it. A very significant case that we're dealing with now was a dog that was being walked. It was a large dog, and just suddenly attacked a young lady that was walking on the other side of the sidewalk, and it created significant issues for her. So in these type of cases, it's not just that injury, okay? It's not what you're stitching up or you're putting a cast on. You also have to deal with the emotional injury that takes place as a result of it. You have to look into the fact that someone's hand doesn't work as well as it used to.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's worth something. You have to be able to put a value on it. You have to be able to put a value on their it's called loss of earning capacity. The effect that this is going to have on them, in this particular case, a nursing student, to be able to do a particular nursing job. So it gets a bit complicated. When people ask, do you really need a personal injury attorney? We say, yeah, you really do. Yeah. And Will can talk about the insurance studies that were done.
Yeah, so there's been studies done, not by us as attorneys, but by the insurance companies themselves, hiring third parties to investigate and collect data. And what they've shown is that if someone in an automobile accident, at least, if they retain an attorney and have an attorney handle their case, that at the end of the day, they end up with 3.5 times more. Their settlement's 3.5 times higher. Because I think a lot of people fear, well, I don't want to pay an attorney fee, I don't want to pay. But if you're receiving, 350% more, it just makes sense. It ends up, and frankly, a person who is not an attorney is not qualified to do it. They're just not. And so that's where we come in. Like Greg said, you have to assess future damages, including, like in the case he mentioned, effect on her work, also the loss of use of that body part. So we work with experts, and people just don't have access to those people otherwise, and the ability to pay for it because we have to front that money, and we happily do that for the client, and then it just comes out at the end. So.
Well, and that goes into clients. Inevitably, the first time we meet them, they'll say, "Look, we really don't have a lot of money to pay you right now," and of course. The first thing we tell them is, no, you don't have to come out of pocket to pay us. We'll pay the experts. If we don't get anything back unless we're successful with their claim. Now, if we are successful, we do get paid, but it's from the amount of whether it's a jury verdict or settlement. We get paid from that, but there's no upfront costs. We handle it all.
This is why you need to go to an expert. You guys have a lot of experience. You've been doing this for a while, and you've pretty much seen it all at this point. So what advice would you have to people who are skeptical or nervous to make that call? How can you put them at ease?
We've got a combined 42 years experience, and what I would tell people is you don't know until you call. So, call, whether it's us, I mean, obviously we would love for you to call Beach Injury Lawyers, but just call a personal injury lawyer and talk to them. Ask them questions, get comfortable with them. And if you're comfortable with that particular attorney, then that's probably the person for you. But at least start the ball rolling and call the firm, get to know us. We'll let you know what we can do. And if you're happy with that, then it's the start of a good relationship.
And I just want to say, do that prior to signing anything.
All right. Well, thank you guys both so much. Beach Injury Lawyers, where can people learn more information about you guys?
Give us a call, 843-357-4111, or look us up on the web at beachinjurylawyers.com. And we're on Instagram,
Instagram and Facebook. IG, Instagram and Facebook, yeah.